morning, folks. This is Deb Delapiano, and this is a short take. So I know I've got a list of videos here. I know I owe you a video on the continuing cast of reprehensible characters running as Republicans, and we will get to that probably tomorrow morning, but maybe today. But I also have the Factivist report later today, so that depends. And I also promised you a series on the positive effects that immigration has had on the United States, aside from the fact that this whole country was built on the backs of immigrants. And I will get to that, but that's requiring research, and that's what I'm doing right now. But today, I would like to talk about the proposed budget that came from what we call the Republican Study Committee, which is composed of 100% of Republican leadership and 80% of Republican members, which is pretty much the vast majority. This budget is a travesty. It is an affront to the American people. It proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that the GOP does not care about the average American, does not care about the American people. It cares only about their donors and business people and corporations. And we're going to talk about some of the lowlights in this proposed budget, which, by the way, should go down to defeat resoundingly, okay? So here are some of the features of this budget. It calls for over a $1.5 trillion cut to Social Security, including an increase in the retirement age to 69 and cutting of disability benefits. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm 70 and I live on my Social Security. It's how I pay my rent. I have a disabled child who would be unable to live on her own should this happen. Okay. It raises Medicare costs for seniors by taking away Medicare's authority to negotiate prescription drug prices, repealing the $35 insulin cap, and the $2,000 out-of-pocket cap in the Inflation Reduction Act, which was passed by Joe Biden's Democrats. It transitions Medicare, wait for it, to a premium support system that CBO has found would raise premiums for many seniors. Do you see what's going on here, folks? Well, if you don't yet, let me keep on going. It cuts Medicaid, the Affordable Care Act, and the Children's Health Insurance Program by $4.5 trillion over 10 years, taking coverage away from millions of people, eroding care for seniors, children, and people with disabilities, and taking us back to the days where people could be denied care for pre-existing conditions and charged for more health insurance simply for being a woman. You listening, ladies? Because, again, let me reiterate that 55% of honky women voted for Donald Trump in 2020. And I'm trying to figure out if they're just ignorant, if they believed he would never do anything that he has done, or if they're racist. There can only be three explanations for this. Now, while it's fucking over the average American person who works, pays taxes here, and gets shit from their government, it helps out the wealthy and the large corporations. It would pass a $5.5 trillion tax cut skewed to the wealthy and large corporations, including permanently extending tax cuts in the Trump tax law, repealing the minimum tax on billion-dollar corporations the president signed into law, and eliminating the estate tax for the wealthiest Americans, providing a massive tax cut for billionaire investors. Hang on. And making it easier for the wealthy and large corporations to get away with cheating on their taxes. And let me just say this. Here I read to you that repealing the minimum tax on billion-dollar corporations that the president signed into law. Do you understand what we're saying here? He's taking away all of the benefits for the American people and piling it on for his wealthy buddies. It kills jobs and investment in communities throughout the country, including red states, by eliminating the clean energy tax credits and the Inflation Reduction Act. It makes it easier for companies and banks to rip consumers off with unfair and hidden junk fees by eliminating the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That's another wet dream the Republicans have had, aside from cutting Social Security, banning abortion nationwide, and giving their millionaire buddies tax cuts. Those are all Republican Party wet dreams, okay? It raises housing costs by cutting funding for rental assistance, cutting funding for programs that help build housing, and raising mortgage costs for first-time home buyers. Now, I don't know. You know what? It seems to me that these people are elected to serve the people, okay? Now, the people being the vast majority of Americans. There are 355 million of us here, okay? Just about 355 million of us. And again, I've made a video that talked about this. 38% of Hispanics voted for Donald Trump in 2020. What the fuck is wrong with you people? He talks about you as though you're garbage. He vilifies you on a daily basis. He said that some immigrants are not even human. He's talking about you. And as far as black people voting for Donald Trump, that is going to be the biggest oxymoron I've heard since gay people voting for Donald Trump. He does not give one shit about you. And neither do any of the people that serve under Donald Trump, or any of the people right now who sit in the halls of our government. This is the man who put blacks and Hispanics in the line of death during COVID because he knew that the jobs that those groups held were the most dangerous jobs during the pandemic. Do you understand what I'm saying here? And now he wants to reward you yet again by screwing you over with this budget. And don't think that this budget isn't from Donald Trump, because the Republican Party as it exists right now does nothing without Donald Trump's seal of approval. He might as well be running the House of Representatives through the mouth of Marjorie Taylor Greene, because guess what? I've never seen a more hapless House Speaker than Mike Johnson, a man who can't find his own asshole with a flashlight and a mirror. Somebody's running the show, and it ain't him. And as for women, you 55% of white women, I got to believe that some of you are on Social Security. You know, I certainly know from seeing the maggots come into my store that these people barely have a pot to piss in. But in the meantime, they're stupid enough to continue donating to this man as he marauds his way across the nation on the Grand Retribution Tour and waits for his 91 criminal count trials to start. We are literally, it is beyond the pale to me that the leading contender in the Republican Party, the man who has won the nomination for the presidency, is a convicted rapist, a man who has already been shown to have ripped off the entire state of New York as he faces his day of reckoning tomorrow, and has 91 criminal counts associated with trying to overturn the election of 2020. The fact that that man is even running for president, I guarantee you in another country, he would not be running for president. And by the way, he also would not be out free, raising money and talking the way he talks while he awaits trial. So this is, you know, this is you. This is your choice now. You pull this shit again in 2024, and this country is doomed. There will not be another election. And there will not be, he will not leave office. And even if he drops dead, there will be plenty behind him. Clearly, the Republican Party has been handed over to this miscreant. So I advise you all to wake up. I'll talk to you later.